Hello, hello, and welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've been learning a lot of things through this process of building the back of the car out. Um, One of those things is that I have a deep, dark secret. I actually have a real problem actually remembering to set up the video camera to be able to record things as I'm doing them. I think it's possibly the ADHD brain in me. I get hyper focused on getting into the task at hand. I want to get stuff done, and then I end up, in all that, forgetting to actually set the camera up. So this video is a compilation of the floor, actually the false floor getting done, what footage I took of it, and the battery compartment. And then the final product of that result. So I've chucked in a couple of little headers at the start of each section, and I've made a couple of voiceovers that I'm going to chuck in as well in a couple of spots. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy it. I shouldn't say guys. I hope everybody who watches this enjoys it and at least gets a little bit out of it, even if it's the ability to laugh at me for my horrible editing and video making of videos. So yeah, anyway, on with the show and enjoy. What I'm doing here is cutting the baseboard for width, not length, because I needed to make sure that the board covered the width of the vehicle, and if I cut it to the length, it wouldn't have been wide enough to go around the wheel arches and make the floor completely as good as it could look. So that's how I ended up cutting it. Once I had the width cut out, I then used a template that I made out of cardboard to trace lines onto the board that would contour the wheel arches. That way it'll be a nice snug fit. I ended up double checking the measurements and the way it's cut out on one side and using that cutout to remark the template for the other side. So I got the final fitment. Now I can start working on trying to work out whether I want to put rubber or carpet on it. I'm not sure yet. And also putting tie down points into it on the sides. So I'm wondering whether or not to, because I'll have the battery permanently mounted in here, so I'll have a compartment along here. There'll be the battery and then some storage on this side. So that will always be there, and that'll be carpeted. So I don't know whether or not I want to put rubber here up to that point so that when the drawers aren't in, I've got rubber, so if I use it as a ute, use it for anything, and I have to carry anything that's liquid that spills, or dirt, but more so for liquid. I'm wondering whether rubber might be better. I'm just not sure, but I'll work on that. In the meantime, I've got this bit finished, which is good. So I've made the base frame, and so that'll be where the battery sits. Frame will come up and it'll sit across. I'll make it so it sits across as well, I think. Although having said that, it may not, because it's not going to sit flush on the actual wheel arches. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. But yeah, it's coming along. So this is the positioning of the battery compartment. So I'm going to bolt that to the false floor, and I'm going to use the bolts to hold the strap to tie the battery down. But what I've got to do now is make the little sides there so that I can actually spread the floor right across, like the upper floor, right across. And then when I have my water tanks in right at the front there, I'll have the water hose coming from the tank probably along this side. I'll have a water filter here somewhere and a pump. Pump first, filter next, something like that. That'll come out, and I'll have a connector down this end when that's all connected, all done. Although I may do it on the passenger side. I don't know. I haven't worked that part out yet. It's all a bit of good fun, just sort of playing around and working out what to do as you go. Some people would plan it out completely and map it out completely before they actually started it, which is another good idea too, I guess. But anyway, hello again. So I came home from work today. I got a little bit carried away with what I was doing, and I forgot to start filming things. So at the moment, what I've done is, I'll show you in just a second. And so this is what I've done. So I cut out my 6mm ply and did the end pieces, and obviously this is not sitting quite right because it's got to be adjusted a bit. I just thought I'd put it together so that you could see it. It's a bit squishy in this area, but yeah, that's what I've got so far. So the 6mm ply on the sides and the front and back, and then I'll be doing a 12mm piece of ply, and of course that'll be carpeted as well, to run across the top, so that it's got a little bit more strength on the top, and I can put things on top of it without worrying about the like if I use the 6mm, it's a lot less likely to be able to hold much weight. So yeah, that's what I've done. And then after that, I got on to finishing off the floor and tidying it up a little bit more, and just chamfering the edges ready for carpet. And then I'm actually going to paint that in a sealant, which is, hang on, yeah, sorry, doing it again, which is this. Can't really see it very well, let's turn it around, bloody light. So, it's a waterproof sealer undercoat primer. So that's what I'll be doing for that. So I'll be painting that. I'll be painting the timbers that I did for this. So mainly the sides. I'm not too worried about the top because that's not going to, if it ever gets that wet, I'm in trouble because the battery sits in there, and I may have to put the inverter in there as well, in here. I don't know, it depends on how far away I can put the inverter, I guess. But I was led to believe that inverters actually have to go fairly close to the battery. It's a work in progress, I'll work that out later. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Okay, so the progress so far. These two tracks here I'm going to fix the rollers onto when I get them. I've just got to get another nut, because the one that I had cross-threaded in the old T-nut, so I had to replace the T-nut, but I only had 8 of the screws, bolts, so I had to have to get another set so I can put that one in. But yeah, that's all nice and straight. So there'll be 900mm rollers in here for the drawers to roll in and out of. Then I haven't bolted this in fully because it's got to come out again anyway. So that all sits flush with that, and then the tank sits here. And then I just have to take that off to access the batteries. Riv nuts and plus nuts. When installing, you can buy a tool for 100, 150 bucks roughly, that helps you to insert them. Now, this is a plus nut. So it works much the same as a drywall connector, so it spreads out with 4 prongs. So putting it on a sheet metal, I've heard, is a lot stronger than a riv nut. So this is an M10 coupler that I have ground out some lines in. I'm not sure how effective that'll be. I saw it done on another YouTube video. I might have stuffed it up, I don't know. But anyway, this is an M8 bolt, which will bolt into the M8 plus nut. I also have a washer on it, so that will go on there. That will screw into here, and then that will eventually, I got it a bit long, but anyway. So using either a ratchet or a drill connection with a bit on it, with a hex bit on it, I can tighten that up. That free moves, so I can hold that with a spanner and tighten that up, and that hopefully will spread it out. We'll find out. Okay, so it turned out to be a little bit harder than I was first led to believe. I've got the 6 tie down points in, but unfortunately with those plus nuts, using that technique, it wasn't keeping a grip on the actual nut, the plus nut, to stop it from turning when it started tightening, and so I had to get underneath the car to actually get it done with some grips so that I could hold on to them and then screw them up. So I used some locking pliers and yeah, got them done as best I could. So they're not too bad and they're holding. I've just got to finish off this one here. I'll screw that up when I can get under the car with some help again. And I'll hold it underneath properly and then get it screwed up properly at that point.